it's just an example. Purdue losing to Fresno State is okay. We can still win the Big Ten West. But me,
Billy Napier gets fired. I'm just kidding.
hey, really the best time of the year. I will be seated watching Red Zone for 7 hours on Sunday. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to an episode of Backyard Banter. Johnny, James, Tanner. We're back here. We're gonna predict some college football. I mean, we're finally starting to get in the swing of things. Before you look now, postseason baseball is right around the corner. Neither of our teams will be participating, even though look at the Cubs almost sweeping the Dodgers the other day. But we're not going to waste any time. It's football season. We're going to get right into some college football pickup. So Tanner's going to pull that up. How did we do last week?
Not great. We're 12-8 on the season now, which means we went 5-5 a week ago. So
yeah, I lied.
Big bounce back week.
Yeah, a lot of people got screwed last week. Some of those matchups, but I mean, let's just start with it's a weak week when game day is going to LSU, South Carolina. Nothing against South Carolina. I just think they kind of got game day at the right time there. But James Keck, who's winning the game of the week?
Yeah, this LSU team for me, we talked about it week one. Like I just love watching Nussmeier play, and that's a big reason why I give LSU the upper hand here in this matchup. That was an incredible week one game against USC. It kind of showed both, it showed some life for both of those teams, and so I'm still kind of riding a little high on LSU. Maybe it's that Brian Kelly love. But I like the Tigers here in this matchup. But I just love Nussmeier. I think he's a hell of a quarterback in college football. He's been fun to watch the last 2 weeks. So I'm excited to see how he fares against a decent South Carolina team. Like, I don't think this South Carolina team is bad by any means. I think it's two SEC teams that are just in the same category right now, middle of the pack teams. South Carolina, in my opinion, more on the bottom. But I like LSU here. I like the Tigers mainly because of their quarterback.
Yeah, I'm gonna take LSU as well. I believe Carolina is starting a freshman quarterback in Lenore Sellers. I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but Tigers roll on the road. South Carolina, they're not bad, but LSU, way more talent. Brian Kelly, I mean, he's clearly not happy after the USC result. LSU doesn't have very much margin for error left this season. This is a game that they have to have, and I think they'll get it, even though it's in a tough environment in South Carolina. But give me the Tigers.
Yeah, a noon game, noon local kick there. It's going to be wet and rainy. Sellers is their quarterback, it's a redshirt freshman. Through 2 weeks, South Carolina has gotten – they're top 5 in pressures through their 2 weeks. That's a big reason why they beat Kentucky. Buck Vandergriff couldn't do anything because he was swarmed by that defensive front. They got a freshman out of that defensive line that had 2 sacks in that game. The strength of LSU is their 2 tackles. Their 2 tackles are both going to be first-round picks. I don't think just LSU wins. I think LSU wins by 2 touchdowns. I think LSU, they lost to USC. It is what it is. I think LSU is a top 10 team in the country. I just also think that USC was a really good team, and they had the ball last that night. That's kind of what it came down to. So I think LSU is really good, and I think they're going to flex their muscles a little bit in South Carolina. So give me LSU by 2 touchdowns.
All righty, so we have a sweep
There we go.
for LSU. I'm going to go quick here and just pick Florida State. They're so unbelievably due, and if they don't beat Memphis, then I don't know what to say.
Imagine if they lose this game, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
they have to win this football game. If they don't win this football game, what happens for Florida State? Truthfully, does everyone on the entire coaching staff get fired? You know what I mean?
That won't happen, but I don't think you'll see us because they just gave Norvell that extension after Bama was looking at him. So everyone got an extension. Sark got an extension. All these people got an extension. But I mean, Mike Norvell gotta win this game. But I also picked Florida State. My mom, I was just on the phone with her. She's like, "Who's Florida State play?" Memphis. And Memphis is a team that could be the Group of 5 team in the playoffs. So this is no kind of walk away. I don't know what this line is at now. I saw when it opened, it was Florida State 7.5, which I think there's tremendous value on that line if it is still there. But I also got Florida State.
Yeah, it's like you say, they're at home. They also lost to Boston College at home. So
Right.
who
Boston
cares?
College got a big game this week. Boston College, Mizzou. Come on.
They do. They do.
Indeed.
But
Here we go.
so I
Right
think
over
we're
the
all
left.
asleep on Florida State. But look, um, I'm so unbelievably disturbed still with how the Miami game happened. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. My dad sent me a text right before this. He saw something that's like Napier's buyouts collected. The Gators are eyeing Lane Kiffin. So James, if your take from 2 months ago comes up, that would be just crazy. But
Come on.
I mean, look, Napier's coaching for his job here. I don't. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to win this game. You can't come out of this stretch Miami, A&M, Sanford 1-2. You got to be 2-1 because eventually that stretch of Georgia, Texas, Missouri, Ole Miss, and Florida State comes about in some order. And even that, you got a trip to Neyland coming up in 3 weeks. In between that, you play Mississippi State, you play Kentucky, and you play UCF. Like, if you want to make a bowl, you got to win this game at home. There's Billy has lost. He's 7-15 against Power Five opponents at Florida. Like, are you kidding? Oh, are you kidding me with that? There's just so many things. If I see one more fake jet pass into a zone run that gets stuffed for a yard, I'm gonna throw a remote through a TV. So, look, I'm so disgusted with Florida last game. I don't even know if I can pick them. Like that's how bad it is. But with that being said, James, you saw it firsthand with Notre Dame. Connor Wigman has arguably not I won't say the worst quarterback. He has not lived up to the bill. And he was a 5-star recruit. Let's not forget this. That this was a guy who's supposed to come in and give the DJ Lagway type feel that Florida has. By the way, I think Mertz is going to start. I think Mertz should start. Um, Now, I do think he has a very short leash. I think in the first quarter, if he's 4 of 10 for 18 yards and a pick, then DJ's coming in. I think it's going to be something like that. But if DJ goes in and he plays bad, then you got no safety, no safety blanket, right? And Graham played well enough last year to earn, have a kind of a mulligan game against Miami. But Trey Wilson, Florida's best receiver, Tanner, you know this from playing with him in the dynasty. He's doubtful for the game. So like that's a huge thing. So because he's doubtful and because until Florida's defensive line shows me something other than getting 12 TFLs against Stanford, they need to show it against a Power 5 SEC opponent. Until they show that, I'm not picking Florida. I'm picking A&M to go in the swamp and win because look, they say home field. I was at the game, and that was part of my fault. Gator Nation didn't show up to the first game. So unless Gator Nation shows up to the first game and doesn't get in their feelings after a first drive touchdown like they did against Miami, then that can have a factor. If the crowd has a factor in this game and Florida's able to get a not even consistent, just semi-consistent pass rush and can run the ball efficiently, Florida will win this game rather easily. But to be completely honest, I haven't seen anything from that defensive line to warrant that. So I'm not going to believe in that like I did against Miami. And don't even get me started on the right side of the offensive line. So I'm going to go with A&M. As much as it pains me, I hate picking against Florida. I always hate picking against Florida, but I'm in prove it mode. They got to prove it to me for them to pick them, for me to pick them again. And that means I'm rolling with Connor Wigman, and that makes me feel very queasy. But I mean, I'll do it.
Yeah, you said DJ Lagway's not starting.
Uh, Florida did not post a depth chart this week for the first time in the Napier era. I think Mertz is going to start regardless. I think DJ is going to play at least 25 snaps.
If they're going to start Mertz, I'm taking A&M. Seriously, like I think DJ Lagway way better than Graham Mertz for this Florida team. So just based off that, just kind of question mark, I'm going to take Texas A&M. Florida doesn't even know who their quarterback's going to be, so give me A&M.
Yeah, this is good because this makes no sense for what I'm about to say because I have a bet with Johnny.
Yeah.
I need Florida to lose. I need A&M to win, so the Notre Dame win looks better. I'm planning ahead. I'm campaigning for Notre Dame, but I think Florida wins this game. I think Graham Mertz is god awful, but I think he's still better than the other guy. So, like at the end of the day, I think Graham Mertz is more salvageable than what's his name over there at A&M. That was one of the worst quarterback performances I've watched week one for an SEC team. And so, like Johnny said, like Lagway is the truth for Florida. And so whether he plays 5 snaps, 25 snaps, 35 snaps, they're all going to be very impressive in my opinion. He proved that last week. So I'm taking Florida here. I'm glad it doesn't matter because my whole being should pick A&M because of everything going on. But I'm going to go right over left here, and I'm gonna go for the Gators. And this week, but we can move on because it pains me to say it. So.
I do want to say one more thing though. I think both of Florida's quarterbacks is better than A&M's quarterback. I think you're right in that aspect, James. And I think Mercer getting way too much flack for having a bad week one against Miami. I mean, this was a guy that had a 20-2 TD to interception ratio last year in 11 games. So this isn't some scrub. He threw for 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 2 picks. So, I'm willing to give him that one game. If he comes out and is efficient with the ball and doesn't turn it over, then I can see it. But A&M's defensive line, I mean, they're littered with 5 stars.
Yep.
And, Florida's secondary sucks. And again, it pains me to pick against Florida. Yep. It really does, especially Connor Wigman. And by the way, A&M has lost 10 straight road games. 10. A&M has. You know who's the only team that's lost more than them? Temple, who hasn't been a team since freaking Matt Rule was there. I didn't even know they were still affiliated with the NCAA. It's been so bad. But we can move on. Everything lines up for Florida to win this game. But Florida will find a way to give up 600 yards and 300 yards on the ground, and Connor Wigman's going to have a career day to go in there and win. But we'll move on to the freaking Apple Cup. Look at this. I love, first of all, the Pac-12 is being reformed. How about that? Boise's going to the Pac, Colorado State, a few other teams as well.
Pac-6, baby.
It's a very, very frustrating day for Mountain West fans like myself.
It is.
In disbelief, to say the least.
For the Pac-12, I mean, those teams besides Boise bring you nothing for football. I mean, they really don't. They bring you nothing in football terms. I think Tanner, you know, I think 4 of those teams made the tournament though for basketball, so they do give that a kick. But anyway, we're talking about football. We're talking about the Apple Cup, and I was going to say Florida, the A&M Florida game, I have no feel on whatsoever. Very similar to the USC LSU game from week 1. No feel on that one. I have no feel for this one either. I don't know a lot about this Washington team. Yeah, I know that they're at home, so I'm going to lean Washington. But Washington State's look really good in their 2 wins. But just because the home field advantage, I'm going to slightly lean to Washington.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Washington as well. You don't go into that building and beat the Huskies very often. And right now with the state of college football, like the fact that Washington State isn't really in a conference right now, you're talking players leaving for the portal, coaches leaving. Like, I don't know much about Washington State, but if I had to guess, they're probably nowhere near as good as they were a year ago just because they're not in a conference. And it's like how many players really want to stay and kind of be in that college football purgatory. You know what I mean? So I'm rolling with Washington.
Yeah, I agree. Huskies, we're going to keep them going. I don't know anything about Washington State, so I don't really care.
Pitt, West Virginia, I'm going to just be quick here. I'm going to roll with the Panthers. They're 2-0. Let's keep the mojo going.
No, not for me. I'm rolling with Garrett Green, man.
Your boy.
I mean, I talk about just a name drop on week 1 podcast. Like,
then he did nothing.
And then he did god awful football play against Penn State.
You gotta roll with it.
Garrett Green, give me G squared, and he's gonna take down the Panthers. Come on.
I mean, talk about literally like the most mid matchup of all time, right?
You mean it's the backyard brawl?
I don't care. I don't care. In the terms
hate
of
on the backyard brawl?
Hell yes, I hate on the backyard brawl.
It
is electric every time. This game's going to come
Civil
down
War and the Apple Cup. Give me Oregon State, Oregon, and Washington over the backyard brawl. I'm going to go with West Virginia also because I think Pitt a little bit overrated after their comeback that they made a week ago. I think it's been inflated. West Virginia lost to a really good Penn State team. Well, a really good week 1 Penn State. Penn State almost lost to Bowling Green last week, but heard Bowling Green's got a squad over there, so watch out for that. But
the MAC is tough this year.
I mean the MAC is showing out.
How about it?
How about it? James? I got to tell you, did you see the thing of the NIU coach that called Marcus Freeman, and he was like, do you want our tendencies that we saw and the reason why we beat you?
I'm really hoping that we talk about this Notre Dame Purdue game a little bit.
We will.
Who would have thought that I'm ready? I've got a loaded gun, just ready to spew some things again. So
there we go. Again, this can be an easy one. App State has a really cool campus, even though they're not playing at home. But Florida played Eastern Carolina in a bowl game one time, so I'll go East Carolina.
I'm gonna roll with App State. Good program.
App
All
State's a
right.
good program, James.
I think Luke Combs went to App State, so give me
There
App
you go.
State.
There you go.
I love it. There's no way App State's losing to East Carolina. The Sun Belt is a really good conference this year.
Yeah.
App State is one of the best teams in it. They're not going to lose to East Carolina. What are we
There we
talking
go.
Hope not.
There we go.
Okay,
about?
Indiana.
These matchups are crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I could start us off here. I think UCLA, and for my money, is the worst team in the Big Ten.
I agree.
Not impressed with them at all. They almost lost to Hawaii week 1. Hawaii's terrible. I don't think Indiana's much better either. First year head coach coming from James Madison. Indiana played Western Illinois last week and beat them like 77-0. But Western Illinois, like, I'm pretty sure Benedictine could play with them. So I don't know how much we want to, credit Indiana for that there. I'm going to roll with UCLA. It's at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. I don't think the Hoosiers are very good either. I think these are two of the worst teams in the Big Ten, but give me the home field advantage out west. How could I pick the Indiana Hoosiers? Like, that's never going to happen.
How about a Big Ten matchup? This game. I mean,
It's
this
like
is a
our first.
conference
It's
game.
like our true. It's our first one that we've seen that just makes no sense looking at it, and you're like, oh yeah, that's just a casual conference game.
Yeah.
Being played in California at 6:30, like
Whatever.
whatever. So
You're good, James.
I don't know. I watched actually a little bit of the highlights of that game last week for Indiana, and it's impressive to me when you can score that many points. I don't care if you're playing against the school of the blind, as Johnny likes to say all the time. I'm going to take the Hoosiers here because I don't care about taking Indiana because I'm not a Purdue fan or whatever. So I obviously understand the pick, Tanner, but I like the Hoosiers here. Again, a game that I don't know. I don't care. They're both going to be so bad in the Big Ten when they actually play someone meaningful. So I'll take Indiana here just as a coin flip.
I'll take Indiana because I think UCLA is the worst team in the Big Ten. So give me Indiana. But again, another underrated game we got here: UCF TCU. Look, Big 12 is crazy. It's going to be crazy. Oklahoma State should have lost to Arkansas last week. In this game, look, I think these are two more of the most underrated teams in the country. Look out for TCU this year. Again, this game is just 50-50. Like, I don't know which way to go. I mean, there's a reason why. I'm pretty sure the spread is 1.5 or 2.5. Like, anything under a field goal, that's literally it's a pick 'em on a neutral site. So, with that being said, I'm gonna lean TCU because they're at home. But I think, look, UCF has a really good back. They have a really good back, and they've been recruiting at a high level too. But with that being said, I'm gonna go the home field advantage in TCU.
I'm going to roll with UCF here. They have two really good backs. I played with them in the video game a little bit. They have like a 91, 89 overall. I know that doesn't mean anything.
Good God, do you just
some of our viewers
this video game?
But UCF is really good. They have a good head coach. KJ Jefferson played in the SEC, played in a lot of big games. I think he's a really good quarterback. I like UCF a lot this year. They got a ton of athleticism. They were one of my sleepers in the Big 12. I think they're going to compete in that conference. And this would be a huge win for them moving forward this season, getting a Big 12 road win against TCU. So I'm going to roll with the Knights here.
Yeah, Tanner, you just inspired me. Give you the Knights.
Yeah, there you go. I'll tell you what. For this next game, I pray that Colorado loses. I'm so sick of Colorado. Not only that,
Colorado has to win this game.
Colorado might win this game because I think Shiloh Sanders was the worst player in the country. Like, I'm serious. He's awful. So, and now he's out, and strictly because Shiloh Sanders is out and he annoys me so much, I'm going to pick Colorado.
Okay.
So,
I mean, fair enough. That's fine. That's fine.
I'm rolling with the Mountain West here. Okay.
Here we go.
Here
we go.
It's the Pac-12 now.
They're in their last days. The Mountain West is going to roll.
Next.
The Mountain West is going to roll. Give me Colorado State. You know who's at Colorado State now? Purdue legend Ethan Morton. He's going to be playing point guard for him this upcoming year. Give me Colorado State.
Ethan Morton transferred to Colorado State.
Indeed. The Mountain West is going to be electric this year in college hoops. I cannot wait.
I'll take the Buffs here. They have to win this football game. They have to. I saw something, and I don't know if it's true, but I guess every time Shadur throws a touchdown pass, the band can't play, and they have to play Shadur's rap song over the PA.
That's
It
fine.
it could have been one of those fake accounts. I get those all the time, and I fall for them all the time.
You're
So
like an old man.
it's no, I don't click links. I just like one time I got something from NBA Centel, and
Yep,
it's
I see
like,
that all the time.
dude, like what? Like Trey Young's on the Bucks now? Like just stupid stuff like that. So, but give me the Buffaloes. I just think they have the best two players on the field. So I like that.
Give me Maryland in this game. Virginia has not been good in football for like a decade, ever since Deshaun Kaiser threw that bomb against them, James, in like 2017, whenever that was. So give me Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take Maryland as well. Big
Yep.
Ten,
I
far
agree.
superior conference in the ACC. Virginia's a bottom feeder in that conference. Maryland's been pretty decent the last couple years. They're finally not in the Big Ten East anymore. There's no division, so that's good for them because they really couldn't compete in that division, but they were still a good program relatively. Give me Maryland.
Yep. I agree.
All right,
And
and
then
by
for
the way,
the points here,
61 points will be scored. Take you to the bank.
I was thinking 54.
James,
James,
you want to go in the middle, 57?
LSU, South Carolina. It's gonna be 58.
There you
all
go.
right, 58.
All right, let's talk about Purdue, Notre Dame, as Tanner has to put in his email before we continue. But
I'll go
So
through and fill them out later.
just I gotta start it off. Okay. NIU deserves it. They deserve the publicity. Coach Hammock deserves to go on the Pat McAfee show. Like they went in and they beat a top 5 team in the country. They deserve that. Okay. But like then hearing Coach Hammock, and I've met Coach Hammock. I've seen him on the golf course. Great guy. Like a fantastic human being. But then to just like it was not only on the phone, but it was in person after the game and saying like, do you wanna know what we saw that like
you
helped
want to know
us?
why you guys suck?
Like, do you want to know what our coaches that we're probably paying $20 an hour did to see what your coaches didn't see that are making millions? Like, you want to go? You want to go see that? And whatever. That's a kind act. I really think it's a genuine like thing. I really do think he's a good guy. And what does he have to lose? If Notre Dame continues to be good, his win looks even more impressive. But my issue today, I from DeKalb. I love the city of DeKalb. Everything about it. I'm proud. Sometimes I am a proud Husky. Sometimes because that's it is what it is. But they gave NIU football team the key to the city today. Like they gave him the key to the city today during practice.
That's awesome.
So like I am pissed. I don't know why that bothers me, but it just really does. Like you're gonna give a football team the key to the city to what? Beat a crappy Notre Dame
Yeah,
team? Like
Notre Dame already gave him 1.4 million. Why do they
yeah,
need?
right. So what's a key to this? Let me tell you, there ain't $1.4 million sitting in DeKalb. Like,
I'll
God,
tell you that.
I got that bothered me today so much. Like giving them a key to the city. They beat Notre Dame. Like they didn't go win the Natty. Like
Basically, that was their.
that means their season's over. Like they did everything they need to and whatever. Like I said, they deserve it. Coach Hammock deserves it. I watched that thing on the Pat McAfee show. He's fantastic. Like it's an inspiring story. I'm really upset it had to be my team, but I tell you what, if you're Notre Dame, you
Better
got a
win
big
this game.
matchup on Saturday. You got a big matchup because Purdue, they're no slouch. Okay, Carr is a hell of a quarterback, and we got busted up by NIU. If we play like we did on Saturday, I'm gonna be walking home from West Lafayette to DeKalb, Illinois, because I'm gonna be so upset if we lose to Purdue, and I won't be able to show face to Tanner, to his family, to anybody there ever again.
Tanner will
So,
be outrageous if Purdue wins Saturday.
oh my god! And here's the thing: my issue is I'm looking at these predictions online, like ESPN predictions. Like, sure, they all have Notre Dame winning, but it's like 24-20, 27-23. If I have to watch a 24-20 win over Purdue, like I will literally I'll be bald. Next week when we film, I'll be bald from pulling out all of my hair because I'll be so frustrated. Notre Dame has to go in. And I'm sorry, Tanner, but they just have to beat you guys by 30. They just have to. Like, they have plenty of talent to do it. And so I can't wait for Saturday, Tanner. Like, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you tomorrow and get ready for it. But for my sake, for Notre Dame's sake, for Marcus Freeman's sake,
Yeah, for
I hope
Marcus
we 30
Freeman.
ball you. I really do. So
Well, I appreciate the honesty there out of you, Mr. Keck. But I don't think it's going to be a 30 ball.
yeah, I don't think so either. But
I go back and forth, truthfully, on who I think is going to win. I honestly would have felt a lot better if Notre Dame wasn't coming off a loss to NIU. I would rather catch Notre Dame ranked in the top 5. But it is what it is. We're playing Notre Dame. That's the team in front of us. Hudson Card has been tremendous his last 3 starts. All 3 of them were wins for Purdue. He's had like close to 1,000 yards in total, 12 total touchdowns, no turnovers in those last 3 games. Year 2 in the system. I think Hudson Card has really figured it out. Notre Dame's run defense has not been spectacular so far this season, and Purdue led the Big Ten in rushing yards a season ago. Michigan, Ohio State, no. Purdue led the Big Ten in rushing yards a year ago, and they have their main guy back. They brought in Illinois' starting running back from a year ago, Reggie Love. So I think Purdue's going to be able to run the ball. Their O-line's a lot better. I think Hudson Card's good. I really think Purdue's going to be able to sustain drives offensively. I don't know how many points they're going to score. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. I'm pretty confident that they'll be able to move the ball. Defensively is where I don't know, really, because Ryan Walters in year 2, he's got more of his guys in there. Obviously, you saw him as D coordinator at Illinois, where he was really, really good. Last year, he didn't have his personnel in there. They were terrible defensively. They got a lot more guys that kind of just stick out when you look at the roster. At corner, on the D line, like we have 6'3", 220 corners. Like Purdue has some really big physical corners. So we'll see how he uses those guys this year. Indiana State threw 10 passes the first game, so I couldn't tell you how we're going to look defensively. But I'm optimistic it's going to be better. But I'm fairly certain Purdue's going to be able to move the ball. I can't pick against Purdue. The place is going to be
fair.
rocking. It's going to be electric. We got Gary Danielson and Brad Nessler on the call, the best crew in college football. West Lafayette is going to be unbelievable. There's going to be Notre Dame fans there. Obviously, there's going to be Purdue fans. Great rivalry. I think it's an underrated rivalry, especially when it comes to Ross-Ade, because the games are typically a little bit closer when it's at Purdue. But I'm excited, and I'm going to pick Purdue. I can't pick against Purdue when they're playing Notre Dame.
that's fair.
I'm probably going to look like an idiot for it, but give me the Boilermakers. Give me
Not at
Hudson
all.
Card.
Not
Give
at
me
all.
Hudson Card.
You know what? Tanner. Well, the big key here is Hudson Card versus that Notre Dame secondary. Notre Dame secondary is one of the best secondaries in the country. They got a guy that's going to be a top 15 pick. Their D-line held up well against A&M, but Riley Leonard was so bad. And it's the same thing. Him and Connor Wegman are in the same boat right now. And it's ironic because they played against each other. Tanner, I don't know if your corner is going to be tested because, frankly, Riley Leonard doesn't go down the field all too often. Like, Tanner, have you seen James? Have you seen him hit a deep shot? I mean, it's been 2 games, but the answer is no.
No, he just throws it 50 yards over the head and he missed the throw. They should not throw the ball more than like 12 times. Like just run the football. Whether it's Riley running the football or Jeremiah Love, just run the football all darn afternoon, please.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think Notre Dame's going to be able to run the ball semi-efficiently. Tanner, I don't know how you feel about that.
I would agree. I mean, I don't think Purdue's D-line is anything special. It's improved. And actually where I'm concerned at, I forgot to mention this, Purdue was terrible last year at stopping scrambling quarterbacks, running quarterbacks. Yeah. Like, had to be worse in the country. Syracuse's quarterback, I don't remember his name. He had 200 yards rushing against Purdue a year ago. And Riley Leonard does that pretty well. Yeah. So I'm very concerned for that. I think part of it's the scheme Purdue runs. So I don't think it's a player issue. I think it's a scheme issue, which is why I'm worried about Riley Leonard's legs. I don't think I'm worried about him through the air. But
well, I'll tell you what. If I'm Purdue, first 2 drives of the game, I'm putting 8 guys in the box, and I'm going to say, prove it that you can throw. And if he hits 2 or 3 throws, then we'll back off. We'll put 7 in the box or whatever. But if I'm Purdue, that's what I'm doing. And I'm not a football masterpiece. I don't know Purdue's personnel, but that being said, I think Notre Dame wins on a walk-off field goal, and Tanner walks out of Ross-Ade in tears.
No, I can't do that, dude. I cannot. Both of us cannot stand that.
Jeter on a walk-off 47-yard field goal.
I love it.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this. I had a dream last night that Florida lost to Texas A&M because DJ Lagway threw 4 picks. So I'm kind of hoping Mertz starts after that. I know that was
What a
random.
fire
I was going to
dream.
talk about that when Florida was
My
on, but
dreams suck compared to that.
yeah, it was. I woke up and like one of those. I was like, oh, it's just Florida didn't actually lose
Not
yet.
DJ Lagway,
Not
no.
not DJ,
Not
but
DJ.
that's the college football talk. Any NFL matchups that stand out to you guys this weekend other than the Bears one?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at some of the matchups this week. I'm interested to hear you on Bucks Lions real quick. I can break down the Bears. If you guys have any other games, I could chime in. But much better matchup for the Bears offensively this week, I would say. I think the Titans have one of the better interior D lines in the NFL, and that's the problem with the Bears right now is their interior offensive line. Texans have a great edge rush, but I would rather that pressure come from the edge than the middle. Allow Caleb Williams to step in, make a throw. Keenan Allen hasn't practiced yet this week. Neither has Rome Odunze. I think Keenan Allen's expected to play. I'm not so sure on Odunze. I'm really high on the Bears. Their offense is not going to be much worse than what it was Sunday. I'm going into Houston expecting to have a chance to win as a Bears fan.
Yeah.
Realistically,
No,
I cannot wait for Sunday
yeah.
Night Football. I'm
No,
so
you have.
excited.
I think you hit it right on the head. There's no way you can say we don't have a chance to win this football game. My concern is I don't think the offense is going to be able to click right away, especially a little banged up after week one. Like I think I saw something Cole Kmet played like 60% of the snaps, and one that has to change. I don't know if you agree, but I think that has to change. I just think this offense will click. I don't think it's going to be a week after. I don't think it's going to be with wide receiver 2 and 3 banged up, if not even playing. And you look at the Texans, their offense is very good. It's the best part of this team. CJ Stroud, Joe Mixon went nuts last week.
Random.
Like randomly, correct. But he's been a guy in the league that is prone to kind of have these crazy games, right? So Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, like the Bears defense has themselves a test. And so my worry is they're not going to be able to go to score us 2 touchdowns. And so I think this game, I favor the Texans. Unfortunately, I'm going to obviously root for the Bears and pray that the Bears win. Can't wait to watch it. I'm going to be at a wedding, so find me in a corner with my nose down in a phone.
All
Um,
weddings are a sin.
Bro, a Sunday night wedding? Are you kidding me? Like,
What can we normalize having early August weddings? Can
yeah,
that
My,
please,
I'll
please,
tell you what, my wedding will be in May, June, or July. I will tell you
yeah.
that. Can't do it in March because of March Madness. Can't do it the first week of April. It's the national championship. You got from mid-April until July to do your wedding. Don't want to hear
That's
anything.
fair.
Anything else
That's
up.
prime months too. Good
Yeah,
months. Like
yeah, dude.
don't we're
My
not
place is good.
greedy. We're not too greedy.
Yeah,
Like
there we go.
come on.
But
But yeah, I'm a little nervous on the Bears offense there because the defense is not going to be able to necessarily win us the game like they flat out did last week. Because the Texans have a fantastic offense. So
yeah, I'm also a Texans lean. Also, just because the Bears' interior of the offense line is not good. I wouldn't even say that it's average, and it scares me, Tanner, because you said that pressure got in from the inside, and it may come from the outside against the Texans, but a bad interior offense line makes an average pass rush look elite. And
yeah.
if they got to be able to hold up there, and they got to get DeAndre Swift involved more. I think they got to run the ball a little bit more efficiently. Um,
Swift's got to get more carries.
I
Hundred
agree.
percent.
And then, look, I think Williams and the Bears are going to be clicking. I don't think they're going to start clicking until week 7, week 8. Look, it's tough. You're a rookie quarterback. I don't care how many weapons you got around you. You very rarely see that Justin Herbert come in after Tyrod Taylor gets his lung in like stabbed and come in and throw for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. It just doesn't happen that much. So I'm going to lean Texans here, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close. And on the Bucks, obviously Bucks go to Detroit. The entire Bucks secondary is hurt. I mean, we talked about corner 2, 3, and 4 all hurt. McCollum might play. He's corner 2. He has a concussion. And then Antoine Winfield Jr., the best safety in the league, he's out for 2 to 4 weeks. He's on a boot, so he's not even practicing. They do have depth there, so I'm not as worried. Like, look, Antoine Winfield Jr., you can't replace him, but you can manage for a week without him. I'm not worried as much about that one. Luke Geddeke's our right tackle. He popped up on the injury report because apparently he has a concussion and he hasn't practiced all week. That's what scares me because you know who lines up on that side? Aiden Hutchinson. And Aiden Hutchinson will feast against a right tackle. They're not going to move him over to Tristan Wirfs' side. Wirfs is the best left tackle in football. They're not going to move him over there. So I'll tell you what. I think Baker and the Bucks are going to be really, really good. I don't know if they win this game in Detroit, simply because Amara St. Brown had like 13 yards the first game, so it's just due for him to have 150 and 2 touchdowns. But I'm a Lions lean. I'll tell you what, I think there's value on the Bucks covering. That line is at like 7. That is a large line. I think 6.5. But regardless, I think Lions win. I think the Bucks are just missing so much. I mean, after week 1, you got like 6 people on your defense that are, right, 6 people on your roster that are like high level players hurt. I'm like, what are we doing here? But definitely a Lions lead.
Yeah, I hope the Bucks win. I'm gonna pick the Lions, but I cheering for the Bucks because when you take a look at this NFC North with Jordan Love now, the Packers are gonna be playing from behind in all likelihood. And do we really think the Vikings are gonna be in the race come December? I don't think so. So as of now, it looks like Bears, Lions, and we need everything we can get. So I'm a huge Bucks fan this week, John. I'm really pulling.
Well, I will say the Bucks got all their weapons healthy. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I told you guys on Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin's gonna have a monster season. You're gonna keep seeing it. Bucky Irving ran the ball really well. The rookie Rashad White's still there. So like I think the Bucks offense would have put up points. Can the Bucks get out to a lead, and can the Bucks force turnovers? The pass rush got home a bunch against Washington, facing a better offensive line. I'm eager to see if it'll translate. But
I like McMillan a lot too, the rookie from Washington, that receiver.
Which one?
McMillan.
Yeah. Oh, he's a stud. Yeah, he's a stud. He caught a touchdown. Look, he's a third receiver, right? And he's got wide receiver 1 upside. But that'll do it for us this game. Unless there's any other games you guys want to harp on.
I want to talk about one game just because I'm hoping it's a good football game. Bengals go to Kansas City.
Yeah.
After a disappointing Week 1 game for Cincinnati. I hope this goes back to Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes, where it's just like elite versus elite. And unfortunately, Joe Burrow, that elite word has sometimes been hard to use. I definitely think he's an elite talent in this league. And I think football is even better when the Bengals are good because I think the Bengals are a pretty electric team to watch. But the problem is with Kansas City, they look – so – that Kansas City Ravens game, the first drive, I was like, oh my God, the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Like I did that overreaction thing, but it's just so impressive. Then the Chiefs, and I didn't forget about Xavier Worthy, but dear God, like they are disgusting. Like the Chiefs are, and then their drive, I said, oh my God, the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. So like, again, that's me overreacting and whatnot, but I'm hoping that Bengals-Chiefs game is going to be a good game. It's probably on paper not supposed to be.
I'll tell you what, it needs to be a good game. And I think there's a lot of question marks going on in Cincinnati right now, not just with Jamar Chase. Something's going on with Joe Burrow. I mean, he didn't attempt a pass 20-plus yards in that opening game. Zach Taylor, their head coach, 1-10 in his career in weeks 1 and 2 as the Bengals head coach. Can't get it done. I understand, look, it's week 1 and 2, you're filming stuff out. A lot of your guys don't play in the preseason. I get it, but look, this is a tough week 2. You had to win week 1. Now you're going to Arrowhead. I mean, I not to mention the Chiefs had a few extra days of rest, extra day of prep. I love the Chiefs in that spot. That's a good game to bring up, James. I just hope
it's a good one. I hope for our sake, I hope it's a good football game.
Yeah. I think Travis Kelce has a big game. He was pretty non-existent the other day, a week ago actually. But yeah.
I agree with that. But now we'll go ahead and get out of here. We'll recap the NFL because right now it's more relevant to recap the NFL because honestly, we don't know a lot about these teams. I mean, it's just week 1 and 2. You can only tell so much from the preseason. So we'll have a full recap coming out on Tuesday. We'll film it Monday, come out on Tuesday. And same with college football. I mean, another big weekend, guys. I hope you guys have fun at the game. I'll be at Illinois State tailgating Saturday, as you see Lauren right there. Girlfriend, say hi. Say hi to the podcast.
Hi.
Are the Bears going to win this week?
Yeah.
She picks the Bears. There you go.
There we
go. If you guys are new, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you made it to the end, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
See ya.